can't tell how this is coming through, so hang on. It's been a bit, so... Alright. And I am... Okay. Alright. So it's been a while. I don't remember exactly what happened. I do remember all of this. I remember these. This was sick. This was so good. I'm so glad I saw that. All of this. I remember these. Wait. Hold on. There we go. Oops. Yeah, glad I have that monitoring. So yeah, I remember all of these, especially this. This was great. So, oh man, the connections, I can't tell. Let me know if it starts looking laggy. It looks like my connection's having some issues that I'm not sure why. So, let me know if it starts looking laggy. It looks like my connection's having some issues that I'm not also, have a sword. There you go. Also, come on, close that. Have a sword. There you go. Screw it. Seriously, how do I close this? No. Yes. Come on, man. Come on. Forget it. I can't. What did I? That's why. Okay. There we go. That's better. No, I need to shrink that a little more so I can actually see the chat. Sorry, it's been quite a while. So, still getting set up and everything. Okay, let's load that back up, and I should be good now. Alright, let's load game. This is more recent save. Relationship. Okay. Journal. Timeline. This is the next morning after after the movie night, right? Just trying to remember. This is the next morning after yeah, okay. Alright. My eyes snap open. For an instant, it doesn't immediately register where I am. Both my back and shoulders ache after I've fallen asleep all hunched over the night before. Drenched in sweat, the nest of pillows I often keep around me feels more suffocating than comforting. I let my eyes adjust to the bright morning light streaming through my window, and allow my breathing to slow down before untangling myself from the pile. So I apologize, I have to double check with that last one. Okay. I haven't had a single dream since coming to Luxborn, or at least none that I can recall having. It's a shame because they used to be so vivid. I haven't had a single dream since coming to Luxborn. Not the crazy vivid, but the more pleasant kind I'll tell my siblings about. It's a shame because they used to be so vivid. Maybe it's just the stress of living alone? Not the crazy vivid. The knowledge that I'll always wake up in an empty apartment with no one to tell stories to.
What time is it?
Habit forces me to look over at the clock, even with the soreness weighing heavily on my shoulders and the compulsion to never leave my bed for the day. Also, I just now noticed this over here. And this one, okay, and what is that? What's on this one? Is it probably a family picture of her and her parents and stuff? Lots of ramen. Things I didn't notice the first time. In a heartbeat, I'm up.
Oh man, of all the times to oversleep! Towel? Towel? Where's my towel? Oh man, of all the
Breaking news? What's up?
Towel? Where's my towel?
Referring to something from here, I guess, or... Admittedly, it's a weekend. As an unspoken rule, that entitles me to extra hours of sleep. Yeah. Yeah. Also, it looks like Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. Also, it looks like But if Rose didn't kill me yesterday, she sure as hell will now. And right after what happened. Oh lord, one box of donuts as peace offering won't be enough the second time around. Grabbing my towel, I'm already a few short steps away from the bathroom when a muffled ringing breaks out from my bag. There's a moment of indecision at first, my mind conflicted whether I should just ignore or answer it. But what if it's Rose? Also, is it just me or does that clock say 5? So she either slept all the way through the day and woke up at 5 p.m., or there's a sun coming out at 5 a.m. Alright. Or worse, our boss. Ah, sheesh. In the end, the rational part of my brain wins out. The letter from yesterday peeks out when I pull the device out. Just the sight of it is enough to put me in a foul mood and takes every force of will for me to ignore it in favor of answering the call. The caller ID reads Mama.
Huh?
It's around 4:45 p.m. in the Philippines right now. Okay, so that must be set to that time, I guess, not the actual time of the place she is.
That's an unusual time for them to call.
Usually it's around noontime here and I'm the one calling, not the other way around. Better for them to use that money on something else than an international call. Regardless, in the most cheerful tone I can gather.
Hello?
Hello? Grace? How are you?
Mama! I'm doing okay. How are you guys over there?
We're good, we're good. EJ won a storytelling contest at school the other week. Brought home a medal. I thought you should know. We're good, we're good.
There's a tired lilt in her voice as she speaks. It's been there since Papa had to leave his job.
I thought you should know.
I wish there's something I can do for her. But from miles away like this, the least I'm able to do is not make her worry. If only my older brother would actually lend her a hand, but Lord knows if that'll ever happen. Also, yeah, I know this feeling from my mom. Halfway across the country, the only thing I can really do is make her not worry about me. So Odds are, Kuya Jordan's already out drinking right now. Why is that? Talib. Oh well. Again. I can't count on my older sister either, knowing she has a family of her own. And, well... 8 Anne's financials. What? Ate? I assume that's probably a word for aunt. In fact, that might be what Kuya is. That might be also another word I don't know. So... Ate Anne's financial situation isn't exactly great right now, having run herself knee-deep in debt.
Great! That's great! Tell him congratulations from me. And let him know I'm gonna send him a little something extra this Christmas. How about Nico? Karen? Michael? I hope they're okay?
They're doing well. They wanted to talk to you, but they're all busy with school.
I mean, the robo voice isn't that bad. I can hear it, but it's not that bad. It's not a bad effect for talking over a phone. They kind of simulated that pretty well.
Oh no, that's fine. I don't want to bother them. Just tell them to keep doing their best for me. I'll just call back when I know they're not busy. Oh no, that's fine. I don't want to bother them. Just tell them to keep And Papa? How's Papa doing?
It's a subject I'm a bit hesitant to broach. From the way Mama's voice hitches, she doesn't want to bring it up either.
How's Papa doing?
Ah, okay. What's Kuya then? Would you happen to know what Kuya is? Okay. Interesting. Good to know. Thank you.
Papa. Grace, he's having a little difficulty right now. Weak appetite, he's having trouble swallowing, and lost a few pounds. Grace,
I guess since I don't have chat on screen right now, I better read that out. Yeah, fair enough. You have the ability to look it up. I don't. Ate is Filipino for sibling, Kuya for brother, Ate for sister. I should try to keep better track of what is said in chat while I don't have a layout for showing chat on screen. I want to get that fixed. It's just that's one of the things I don't have yet.
But the doctor said we should keep encouraging him. It just means his body's accepting his new treatment well. The money you sent last time helped a lot to pay for it, by the way.
Oh, I see. That's good.
I won't deny that life has gotten tougher for our family. It used to be easy back when Papa was in good shape.
That's good.
But ever since he was diagnosed with a sickness 5 years ago, he had been unable to provide for us. Now the burden of feeding 8 mouths and settling Papa's bills all rest on my shoulders. Ouch. Okay, ouch. Although Mama makes a little, accepting sewing and laundry jobs in our neighborhood, it's scarcely enough to cover the costs of day-to-day living, let alone the bloating hospital bills. We can't even expect help from our own government because the health insurance there barely covers anything.
I'm sure he'll get better soon. Is he well enough to talk? Do you think I'll be able to speak to him, Ma?
Silence.
I'm sure he'll get better soon.
I start to think that the call got cut, until...
Listen, Grace. Maybe it's better if we transfer Papa to a different hospital. Somewhere cheaper?
What? Why? Did something happen? Is it the deposit issue again? Give me the hospital's number. I'll talk to them.
No, it's nothing bad. The service here is good. Too good. Even the doctors. But I'm worried you're working yourself to the ground because of it.
Mama, we've been through this before. I want the best for Papa. And don't worry about the bills or the medicine, or me for that matter. I can handle myself. Everything's going well here. In fact, we're about to close a large sale.
And now this is reminding me that I still need to figure out what I'm doing with the job. I'm getting a little worried. Hopefully. If not, then I'll find another way. She doesn't need to know that. Sorry, Mama. You taught me not to lie, and yet look what I'm doing. If not, then I'll find another way. She doesn't need to know that. I wouldn't say this is lying, it's just not being entirely truthful.
I'll have money to send over soon to cover the rest of Papa's treatment. And there's more than enough for Karen, Nico, Michael, and EJ's school tuition, too.
She's got a big family.
Thank you so much, dear. I appreciate it. We all do. But I just wish you'd come home to us soon. Thank you so much, dear. I appreciate it. We all do. But
Kailan
I just
Kaui.
wish you'd come home to us soon.
When are you coming home? EJ, the youngest, used to be the only person asking me that. How do you respond to a question that you don't have a definite answer to? 5 years later, and I still can't give them a straight one. I smile, though Mama can't see it. I fight to keep my lips from quivering, my voice from shaking. She's got enough on her plate as it is. No need to weigh her down with unnecessary concerns.
Promise me you'll be there to welcome me when I do, okay?
Of course. I'm sorry, Grace. I need to take this for a while.
There's a small commotion on the other end. The sounds of gates opening, the voice of a child, EJ, talking excitedly about his day at school, the tapping of feet on the floorboards as he runs. It's been years since I went home, but I can still picture the whole scene in my mind. How tall is he now? Are the neighborhood kids bullying him now that I'm not around? Did Mama rearrange the furniture in the living room again? What are they having for dinner today? I miss them. I miss them so much.
It's okay, Ma. I need to go too. I've got work today. I'll call again soon, alright?
On a Saturday? Oh, never mind. Take care of yourself, dear. I love you.
I love you. Bye.
Never mind. Take care of yourself, dear.
It ends with a soft click, leaving half-truths and empty promises hanging in the air. Closing my eyes for a moment, I take a deep breath and shake away the thoughts beginning to swim inside my head. It's pointless to mull over these things right now.
Okay, Isabella. Time to get that mansion sold.
Unfortunately, before I can take a single step away from my phone, it rings
Okay,
again.
Isabella. Time to get that mansion
No doubt Mama forgot to say something.
Mama? Did you forget anything?
Excuse you? I'm too young to be your mom. Are you still sleeping?
Mama? Did you
Hold on, never mind that. Get yourself in the office. Hurry!
Office? What about the open house?
The calendar in the corner up here starts on Monday? Not necessarily. She passed out the previous night and just woke up, so she may not have had time to X out the day.
Oh no. Is it Sir John? Did he hear about yesterday? Am I in trouble? Oh god, oh god, oh god! I'm gonna get yelled at, aren't I? What do I do? I'll buy you an extra box of donuts if...
No, it's nothing like that. Will you calm down?
Also, I still really like her voice.
Get yourself here, alright? I'll tell you everything then.
There's the telltale din of several feet shuffling against the wooden flooring and an indistinct yelling in the background before Rose cuts the connection. That isn't in any way comforting. But it's enough reason for me to hastily discard my phone and finish my shower in record time. I make it to our office within 20 minutes of leaving my apartment, completely disheveled and out of breath. A feat if I take into account my usual travel time. Also, nice shout out to your own studio, just throwing it in the as the name of the company, or at least the letterhead on that. Sorry, just trying to make out the background audio again. Routine clamor, common to Briar Realty Corporation's Luxborn office, greets me as soon as my foot crosses the threshold. Yeah, I know. I was about to mention that too after I finished reading that. That's awesome. Okay. Papers rustling, telephones ringing at sporadic individuals, agents talking at varying volumes, staff moving about, and...
Where the hell is C? Where are my employees? What the actual fuck, guys? Of all the times to disappear without notice.
Okay. My boss's words turn muffled as someone else crosses the door to his office, likely the work of our HR manager. Throughout the past weeks, he's been in a bad mood over a few employees who have failed to report to work. I hear they're still trying to get a hold of them, but to no avail. The result is, half their workload have been shifted to all available staff so as not to lose clients. Or to not lose clients. Not that I mind the extra work. If anything, it means I'll have more to send to my family back home. Although the rumors of a branch closure circulating because of this is indeed a bit worrisome. My bag barely touches the top of my table when Rose pulls me aside.
Here, I need you to help me with these papers. If you could also get these signed and photocopied before lunch today, that would be great.
One after another, she thrusts a bunch of paperwork in my hands without explanation. A page flutters away from the top of my pile, and I lean down to pick it up, my eyes scanning the top of the page as I straighten. A purchase and sale agreement. Rose simply gestures her thumb in the direction of our visitor lounge when I tilt my head in question. There, seated on the sofa and looking completely out of place in the humbly decorated room, is the same couple from the day before. Gee, I wonder how I couldn't have seen this one coming. The Wrights. Something bubbles up in my throat. Their presence in the office can only mean one thing.
They're buying it? We got a deal?
She swats at my hand, tugging her sleeve, although her eyes are alight with something akin to joy. She wants the sale to happen as much as I do, and now that it's here, the deal needs to be closed yet, documents need to be signed still, but the elation is there. Along with a foreboding feeling I can't quite pinpoint. Ah, that might be why the butterfly thing was coming up before. Okay, hold on. Foreboding feeling, huh? Could this have anything to do with that? Just asking.
I had to do a little damage control, but they're already interested in acquiring the property, even before they attended the open house.
The waving hair is so weird to me. I still can't get used to that.
I mean, isn't it obvious? They already hired an interior designer. I've never seen a buyer as aggressive as Madam Wright. She didn't even try to negotiate a lower rate.
One at a time, Rose. I can't process everything you're saying at once. What do you mean?
They're paying 15% higher than the listing price, as long as we get the paperwork done as soon as possible. I think if we allow it, they'll be paying up front, too.
Even with that urban legend?
It's the wrist thing that's odd to me. I don't know a single woman who holds her hands like that. Also true. I don't know if that's on every character or just Rose, though. The hair happens to everyone, from what I've seen. But, yeah, now that you pointed out, that is a little weird. Rose nods.
Oh. I was so sure we lost the sale after yesterday.
Don't look so surprised. We still have to conduct some last few checks before we completely hand it over to them.
Please. I'll happily do the paperwork duty, Rose. I'll even go to the land registry myself and make sure the property changes hands with every single legal blessing.
Don't they have better things to spend money on? I'd haggle it down to the lowest possible price if I were in their place, especially with the stories attached to it. Not that my opinion matters one bit here. We're just their agents who are going to receive the hefty commission after all, nothing more. Rose gives me a pat on the shoulder, signaling that she's heading back to them, and an unspoken instruction for me to follow after I'm done. It doesn't take me long to finish what work she left me. In fact, having our boss sign the agreement is the easiest, since it has put him in a better mood, to the entire office's relief. Ma'am Hannah calls me over the moment she notices my presence at the lounge door. Her lips are twisted into a frown. She doesn't seem particularly happy to see me, and I'm not surprised. Who wouldn't be? I almost created a scene. Mr. Wright, however...
Why, if it isn't the little Lily. I trust you're feeling well now.
Damn it, I can actually hear that being talked now. Also, she's just mad because she thinks he wants to cheat on her, I assume. Because she seems very jealous of you whenever he gives you any attention.
It's Isabella, sir. Not Lily. I appreciate your concern. I'm feeling better now.
Also, yeah, the wrist thing is totally on every character, including him. I didn't even notice that. I really don't understand why they can't get my name right. It's a fairly common name. It shouldn't be too hard to remember. Regardless, I hand them their copy of the agreement.
I believe I can take that. Thank you very much.
With how elegantly she plucks the papers off my hands, it's easy to think that there isn't any trace of irritation in her. But it is there, radiating in her stiff stance, in the way she's standing at a fair distance from her husband, and how the two look to be ignoring each other. Seeing this scene, it soon becomes clear to me that I'm not the one who has put her in a bad mood. Did they fight? Most probably. I've seen it happen dozens of times with my previous clients. It's a shame, especially with their new mansion. I never did like it when my own mama and papa fight. I hope they'll make up soon. Apparently satisfied with what she's seen, Ma'am Hanner claps her hands together before extending it to us for a shake. Rose and I release the breath we've been holding, both of us more than happy to return the gesture.
That settles it then?
Are you really sure about this property, ma'am? We could easily find you a bigger one among our current listings. Something with a modern touch?
What are you doing? Something not haunted, perhaps? Rose shoots me a warning glance that clearly says, don't make a scene, we're almost there. Yes, what are you doing? I have the same question.
Of course, why wouldn't I be? The house is absolutely perfect, isn't it, darling?
A helipad would still be a nice addition.
Yes, well, we'll get there eventually, love. As I was saying, if your partner had the documents yesterday, we would have bought it right there immediately. Shame she didn't have it.
Well, there's still a few necessary documents we need you to sign after, but we'll let you know once we have those finalized. We'll be handling the process for the rest, so don't worry about it, ma'am.
Within a week, I hope. We still have a housewarming party to plan, after all. You know how much thought should be put into those things.
Perfect place for a new blood sacrifice. Yeah, considering how much I already suspected him because of the intro, and on top of that, because now I found out that he's voiced by Takahata 101, who, like I mentioned in chat to you before, yeah, he does not have a good track record of voicing not evil people. So...
There are servants for that, darling.
Love, servants or not, you're going to make people listen to your input nonetheless.
No more than a week, ma'am. Barring unexpected delay, of course. You can leave it to us.
Excellent. Well then, I'll leave you two to it. It's been a pleasure doing business with you.
You know what's bothering me the most about the hair thing? It feels like it feels like, and this might be wrong, but it feels like the way that was designed and animated is that it was done with 3D models and then collapsed down to 2D. That might be why it seems so odd and so jarring, you know?
Oh, and before we forget...
She discreetly folds something into both of our hands and winks, a finger raised to her lips demanding our silence.
What happened the day before was quite unfortunate, but you did get us what we wanted in the end. That, at the very least, is commendable.
But this is... Ma'am, I can't accept this.
Legally, yes, you can.
Don't you worry, darling. It's a small thing coming from us.
Doesn't matter how much it is, legally you're not allowed to do that.
Consider this your bonus for a job well done.
She smiles sweetly like this is simply the most normal thing to do in the world.
Oh, before I forget, my lovely interior designer would appreciate it if you hand her a copy of the floor plan as soon as possible. She's dying to work on the house. You can do that, yes? Here's her contact.
Certainly, ma'am. We'll have it processed as soon as possible.
Forget her name, it was, Marianne, that's right. Also, I forgot how bad Rebecca thinks me at this point, compared to where she started. Forgot how much I pissed her off last time. Whoops.
I knew I could count on you, lovelies. I hope to see you two soon so we can get this closed.
Just like that. Transaction over and done with. My mind's still reeling after they've left. Our other agents would kill to have clients like them. A part of me feels lucky about the fact. No lengthy negotiations, no sudden change of minds. Just talk, signatures, a few handshakes here and there, and we're done. I love how I went into this with the idea of like, yeah, this is going to be a horror game and all that. And it very clearly is. But it starts off... Whereas Ace Attorney is an attorney's office, this starts off as you're playing as a real estate agent. I find that amusing. The other part? A second ago, we sold a haunted property to 2 innocent clients. Don't know if I'd use the word innocent. Might just be shading, but I find the interesting that the portrait for Anna has rather dark and red semicircles around her eyes, which suggests that she might actually be just as bad, not just being a bit too posh and full of herself. No, actually, if anything, I know what you're saying. I can see it too. If anything, I'm gonna chalk that up to one of two, if not both things. One, her constant stress about her husband. That's entirely possible. I've had dark circles around my eyes when I just couldn't get enough sleep, so... And people would just tell me that I look tired as hell, so, I mean... I wouldn't be too surprised to find out that she's stressing herself out too much, not getting enough sleep. Alternatively, makeup. She's rich. She wants to put on as much makeup as she possibly can. That could possibly be a, what's the word I'm looking for? Eyeshadow. So, it's possible that she's just as bad as he is, but I'd more quickly chalk it up to one of those two things. Sure, the commission's big. Sorry, hold on. Okay, the Haunted Property 2 clients. Sure, the commission's big. Big enough to continue funding Papa's treatment and hospitalization, big enough to pay for all 4 of my younger siblings' schooling. Heck, it'll keep me away from instant noodle diet for months. I don't have to go back to the mansion as well once the deal's been closed, much to my sanity's relief. But knowing that something's in there, and that we gave it to the good couple despite that? Oh, Isabella, the thing you do to sell a house and get money. Papa won't be happy with that. At least I have good news to tell next time I call home. The little lie I told Mama this morning isn't a lie anymore.
Well, there's something.
I mean, you see what I mean on her, too. You see that kind of semicircle around this end of the eye and that end of the eye back there. I seriously think it's just makeup.
So how does it feel?
How does what feel?
Your first big multi-million-pound sale, silly. I know you've been with us for years, but this has got to be memorable for you.
Probably for all the wrong reasons, but yes. Memorable is an understatement, Rose. Damn it, I hate it that I could actually predict where the story's going.
Come on, show some enthusiasm. They gave us a bonus, too, aside from the commission and the other bonus boss promised.
Illegally, yes.
What are you gonna do with it?
I don't know. Send it home, probably?
All of it?
Not everything, of course. Most of it. I'll leave some for my living expenses.
Listen here, Isabella. I'll teach you something I should have told you before we ended your training.
She slings an arm over my shoulders and leans in closer to my ear as though she's about to share a big secret.
It's okay to celebrate from time to time.
I don't get it.
It's simple. Go out, do something for yourself. Throw a party and treat your friends to free food.
You can especially see it when she blinks. Just watch for it. It's the same... It's a different color than her actual skin. So, it's definitely makeup. At least for Rose. And I was fairly certain that Hannah, being the rich bitch she is, probably about the same.
Didn't you say the last one's some sort of tradition back at home for you? Hello, this is practically a done deal.
Isn't throwing a party a bit excessive?
Your call. I won't say no to an invitation, by the way, in case you really are planning to throw one. A few drinks would be nice too, thank you very much.
I don't think my apartment's big enough for that.
You could always move? Bloody hell, you're working in real estate.
I think I'll pass. That's too much of an unnecessary expense for me. But I did promise Becca free lunch in case the sale goes well.
You go do that. Hold on a sec.
She quickly removes herself from me to answer the phone on her desk. Her tone shifts from playful to professional in the span of a few seconds.
Today? Not a problem, ma'am. I could bring you a copy of the contract if...
My mom was also really good at that, just shifting straight into professional mode on the phone. Must be another client. Nothing surprising there. She's one of BRC's top agents no matter how modest she appears. A saleswoman through and through. I, on the other hand, have very little knack for it. Of course, I learned, eventually. I had to. But someone else will, without a doubt, do a better job. Once, though, in a drunken stupor, Rose told me a story of what could have been. Years ago, wide-eyed, young, young and brimming with yet-to-be-fulfilled dreams and ambitions, she was a term or two away from a nursing degree. Out of courtesy, I never pressed on the matter further. But perhaps it's where the sense of fondness started. A small connection due to one similar experience in our respective lives. Of goals we both let pass us by because of the circumstances we're in.
I'd be happy to discuss this over tea, ma'am. All right, I'll be there. Thank you.
New client?
Reassigned. Have you heard from Mark at all?
Not since the first visit to the mansion. Why? No news from the HR yet?
None at all. Boss thinks he ran away.
The HR, I've never heard it called that. It makes sense.
I doubt it, though. He's too much of a wimp for that. There must be another reason. Who knows? Anyway, I've got to meet this one. I'll see you later.
She throws a wave over her shoulder as she rushes out of the office. The lunchtime bell sounds shortly after, followed by the chatter of fellow agents also heading out for a much-needed break. Ordinarily, there's no need for me to go out. But oversleeping didn't allow me the luxury of packing my own lunch today. If one considers taking an instant noodle cup from my pantry packing your lunch. Time to make good on the promise I made to Becca, I suppose. Maybe invite Zach and Ash too? In the end, only Becca and Zach could come. Ash, on the other hand, couldn't be reached. All of my calls went straight through to his voicemail. Oh, right, he's at it again. Right here today, gone the next day. Ash is... Yes, okay. Ash is voiced by another former member of Team 4 Star. She... If you remember from the previous part, it's really like all she can afford to do with how much money she's sending back home. Like, she does not have a lot of money for food, and I totally get that. Because I've been living off of mostly ramen myself lately, so it's boring as hell. Oh well, his loss. We've agreed to meet at a nearby cafe, not local, why did I say local? The same one I frequent with Becca because it's cheap and they give away free bread around closing time. At a nearby cafe. Quaint, a little old-fashioned, looks a wee bit out of place among the city's tall buildings, but we love it all the same. Much like its facade, the interior carries an antiquated charm to it. Vintage art pieces and a row of shelves, boasting an extensive collection of books, cover the walls. It would have been nice to hang out for here hours on end, but even on a weekend, the place is still packed with people. Thankfully, Becca and Zach have already found some seats and are engaged in some casual chatter when I arrive. It's strange seeing the two of them without Ash accompanying the other. They've never been particularly close. Sure, they talk when they meet, laugh at the same things when there's something funny, but there's distance, the kind... Yeah, packed? Really? I mean, this is just the lobby-ish area. That looks really clear. Yeah, again, this could just be like the front lobby area. There could be some stuff way off on the side of the screen over here we can't see. But there's distance, the kind born purely out of differing interests. That or Zach's simply afraid of Becca. Yeah. It's not impossible, and I won't blame him if he is. He might be the tallest in our group, but everyone knows it means nothing against Becca's temper. Even I am a little scared of her.
Zach! Becca!
Well, you seem to be in a better mood today. What happened? I know that smile, Belle. Come on, still.
See, she's got it too. So it's probably just makeup.
Don't rush me. Let's order food first, okay?
A waitress comes by to take our order. On a normal day, me and Becca will order a hearty serving of their special vegetarian stovies. Stovies? Zach takes anything with a good helping of meat, sausages, or potatoes in it. But today's a good day. Great, even. It's not wrong to indulge a little, right?
Today's special. For the three of us.
Even the person jotting down our order looks surprised at today's meal choice. She writes it, nevertheless, and leaves without a comment. Becca furrows her eyebrows, her mouth halfway open, and ready to let loose what's likely a string of reprimands.
Don't worry. It's my treat.
The glare she sends my way reminds me of the one I received from Mama when I punched a kid bullying my younger brother 18 years ago. Naturally, I never did it again after she made me apologize the next day. But Becca's far from being my mom. Also, just like to point out, protecting your family. I would not have made her apologize. Sorry. A small sheepish grin is enough to turn that frown into a defeated sigh. Stovies is like the vegetables you can find around a roast, which can often be found with a roast as well. A traditional Scottish meal. Okay. Yeah, I live in the US, so I had no idea about it. Pretty much any of the culture stuff here, so. Food arrives in the middle of a funny story from Zach, putting the rest of the conversation on hold as we are each served our order. It isn't anything fancy. Pan-roasted sea bass with citrus-dressed asparagus, and a portion of mashed potatoes on the side. Or at least that's what the daily specials board says. I never did pay any attention to it when I came here, since they price whatever's written way above what I'm willing to spend food on a single day. Like I said, she does not live off of a lot of money for food. You saw her apartment. She very clearly sends as much back to her parents to help out with the family as she can. So.
Oh, good. I'm so hungry, I think I'm dying.
Don't need to be hungry for that.
You're always hungry.
Hey! Not all the time.
Let me guess. You skipped breakfast again.
Not on purpose. I may have overslept by a few seconds today.
Right then. Stop stalling, Isabella. What's this about?
Let us say, Rebecca. She wouldn't be inviting us out if it wasn't worth hearing out.
Well, we're waiting.
Yeah, or hours. Yeah.
I'm treating you guys to a once-in-a-century thing.
An expectant grin breaks out on my face, except...
I'm sorry, say that again.
And this is important because...
Becca only raises an eyebrow at me, while Zach appears like he didn't get the punchline to another lame joke Ash made, and is desperately searching for someone to explain it. Oh, bummer. Maybe I should rephrase it? Alright. Draven? I think that's how you say it. Your turn. Since I was giving John the choice and he's not here, your turn. I assume, based on the previous one, the latter one would make him happy and her not change very much at all. This would make her happy, probably not change him much. That's also true. That's also true. Noodle days aren't over, it's lying to herself. So you want me to pick the other one then? That's also true. That's also true. Noodle days aren't over, it's lying to herself. So you want me to pick the other one then? So you want me to pick neither one then? Ash might suddenly show up. I was considering that as well. In fact, I would very likely expect that to happen. I was considering that as well. In fact, I would very likely expect that to happen. Which one am I picking, dude? I'm leaving the choice up to you. It's more fun leaving it up to chat. Or whoever's around. Rolling dice here, hold on. Again, Becca seemed very upset about the instant noodles before. She was scolding you about that. So that's Ash isn't here, okay.
Okay, let me do that again.
I was not expecting her to go down on that. I was expecting him to, but not her. Huh.
We should celebrate because Ash Hole is totally missing out on my first treat ever.
I'm sure Ash has his reasons.
He hasn't even apologized for calling me a scaredy cat yesterday.
A half-hearted compliment without any meaning to it. Done more out of habit than with any real malice or hatred to it. She called him that in the first part. Also, I would be surprised if she does not end up with him by the end of the story, considering how they treat each other. In fact, there's kind of a love triangle thing going on where she likes Ash, Ash likes her, she's completely clueless. After all the times he's called me a scaredy cat, the word has completely lost its meaning. Imagine that. There's disappointment, of course, in knowing he's off who knows where while we're having fun here. Sheesh, don't just disappear off the face of the planet without telling anyone. Isn't he a private investigator? Can't he kind of, you know, have times that he needs to be super secretive?
You aren't really upset about that, are you?
No, not really. But it's his loss for missing this once-in-a-century event.
He did seem to be in a hurry when we parted last night after the movie. Said he got a big lead on his case.
Yeah, see.
Oh, yeah, he mentioned that.
Where's the stupid story updated thing? Is that here? Branching Tree? That's the only place I can think that ends up showing up in.
But you know how he is about his work. Everything except his unholy love for bad puns is a secret.
He never mentioned those to me.
I ain't surprised. He's more tight-lipped with this one. Something about it being bigger than what they usually let him handle.
Don't worry, Becca. I'll make him talk.
It's not necessary. He'll talk when he wants. And if what Zack says is true, it's better if we keep our noses out of this. His job isn't exactly a walk in the park. We'll only get in the way if we pester him about it.
Agreed. Which is why I consider that the bad option.
Well, he better treat us to something other than ice cream once he solves that one. That's Scrooge.
But that's not really why you asked us out, right?
She gestures at our food with her hand, as though it's to say something, as though it's something she's not willing to touch until I give her answers.
I promised I'd treat you to a free lunch if the mansion got sold, yeah?
Understanding dawns on her face. The bewildered look she's been sporting changes to something close to delight.
You should have just told us. No need for all this fancy, secrety stuff.
It was supposed to be a surprise. I made a promise, didn't I?
I wasn't expecting you'd really do it.
Well, it's already here. If you don't want to eat it, I'll just...
I begin to gather their plates to my side, the food in each still untouched. Yeah, I mentioned that in my first stream. There's jiggle physics, but it seems to apply more to the hair than it does to the breasts. Yeah. I mentioned that in my first stream. A laugh almost escapes my mouth with the way Zach's expression quickly changes to disappointment. Becca's hand interrupts me just as I'm about to pull her plate closer to me.
No, please leave it, ma'am. We're simply humbled by your utmost generosity.
He really does. Zach seems so stoic. Yeah, he really does. Even in the first part, he kind of seemed... Even though he was the most laid back of the group, he also seems like the quiet one. So...
Considering you're as much of a Scrooge as Ashton.
Don't compare me to him. He's the one who looks like he's about to have an episode whenever he has to spend more than £5.
I honestly wish there's a way for you to see the look on your face when you haggle. Remind me to record it once. I think it's something like this.
She puffs her cheeks and furrows her eyebrows in an imitation of how I supposedly appear. I don't look like that at all. Do I? She drops the act at the flat look I shoot her. Her laughter dies, but the playful gleam in her eyes remains.
This means you're gonna be okay now, yeah?
For a while. It just means we won't have to worry about paying for the treatment and the bills. But that's all that matters, right? I mean, we're not yet sure if the new medication will produce better results, but Mama and the doctor said Papa's responding well to the treatment. That's one reason to be hopeful.
Curious what kind of sickness is being at play here.
And with the money, I'm sure it's just a matter of time.
Saying it this way sounds as if I'm trying to convince myself. You kinda are. But no matter what, I allow myself to smile, genuine and uninhibited. It's strange talking about this with other people, even those who have known you long enough. But today things simply feel a whole lot lighter with them here. Lunch passes in an enjoyable fashion. A laugh here, a playful jab there, but most of it is spent on catching up and telling stories about whatever's keeping us busy these days. Something we couldn't afford to do the day before, taking into account what happened. Even Becca's surprisingly chatty. Is there something in the sea bass we ate? Zach, though, appears less energetic. While he's far from being the life of the party, he's definitely not the type to keep quiet in a conversation with his friends. Apart from a few inputs, he's been silent the entire time. If Becca notices...
Are you sure you're not feeling under the weather, Zachary?
Huh? No, I'm okay. No worries, Rebecca.
Doesn't sound okay to me.
It's okay. I might be feeling a little bummed out today, but I'm sure this will pass.
Oh right, he's voiced by Antfish. Forgot about that. The same dude who ended up going on to voice Hercule in DBZ Abridged.
Is it about the reviews this morning?
A pained expression crosses Zach's face, and almost immediately Becca retreats in her inquiry as though the man's look is enough of an answer for her. I look between the two of them. Did I miss something? What happened this morning? Did I stumble upon a big secret? This is why I don't like waking up late.
You heard about those, huh?
Sorry, I just happened to check on some sites this morning.
Nah, it's a very sensitive topic in the first place. I should have expected it.
What reviews?
For the movie you went to last night, idiot. Becca glances at Zach, her emotions unsure, asking for his consent on the matter. Oh, how much did you miss? Becca glances at Zach, her emotions unsure, asking for his consent on the matter. Oh, how much did you miss? Need me to go back? I could do this. Okay. So yeah, it's not that he's stoic, it's that, or at least not normally, it's that the reviews from the movie they went to the previous night came in and it's not great. So, did you hear that I mentioned that this guy's voiced by Antfish? Guy who voices Hercule, a couple other big name things on a bridge series. Yeah. Yeah. Although there's a small desire to keep asking on my part, I don't dare voice it out. With Zack, it has always been better to wait. Just let him speak on his own. Becca too, to some extent. Although with her, explosions of temper are more common. In the end, he simply answers with a shift of his shoulders, gesturing for her to go on with a tilt of his head.
It's his movie.
That doesn't explain anything. Stop dangling the information, Becca!
Piecing 2 and 2 together is way easier for me than it is for these characters in this game.
Zachary, I'm not the one supposed to be telling her about this. It's still your documentary.
Is it something bad?
Not bad per se. You guys don't need to dwell on it much.
Bad? Listen here. I wouldn't trivialize what those bowheads wrote if I were you. They're ruining other people's jobs.
Those what? I'm gonna need that to be Googled because I want to know what that is. From how her tone rises in anger, it seems like she's the one slighted and not Zack. A snicker escapes me, which I promptly stamp down as soon as she sends me a hard look. Ah, okay.
This isn't a laughing matter, Isabella. Some bowbag just insulted him.
Fair enough. Alright. Yeah, I gotcha.
Calm down, Rebecca. Those are just reviews, and it happens a lot.
I do not ken about you two, but calling the entire film an out-and-out drivel, you're better off watching an educational kids' TV show, and worst 1.5 hour of my life, among other things, isn't exactly a critique any decent movie reviewer would say.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, I didn't notice, but she definitely has a bit of Scottish because this part right here. So.
If you could call that a critique, did we even watch the same film?
Well, maybe I ain't cut out for it. Better stick with my photography or something. If nothing else, this helped me open my eyes to what I can and can't do.
You're giving up.
It wasn't a question.
It was just something experimental I did on my free time anyway. It's no big deal.
But you worked on it for months.
Doesn't look like it matters for those people.
Don't say that!
My palm strikes the table, sending the tableware on top clinking against each other. I didn't even notice when I rose from my seat. Yeah, her accent's not Scottish, but she definitely at least has some sort of heritage from there, I guess? I don't know everything about her yet, do I? Yeah, her accent's not Scottish, but... Nope, not yet. I have to wait until I actually play as them to get their journal entries for some reason. But here I am, chest heaving, looking down at him in the same manner a teacher would at any unruly student. Becca's probably proud. I didn't mean to yell, but there are some things people like Zack aren't supposed to say. How exasperating. He, of all people, should know.
It's just a review.
Except they're pretty well-known critics.
Why does that matter? They aren't the ones calling the shots on this. Isn't that why they have a committee? Right, Becca?
An amused gleam is in her eyes when I turn to her. What does she find so entertaining here? Help me here. Your friend's about to quit his passion for a petty reason. I haven't read what those people wrote about his work, but a few scathing words shouldn't be enough to discourage someone. I should know. After all, I'm...
Failing means you're playing, Zack. Not that I'm saying it's bad. I've seen it from start to finish, and I know for myself what you created isn't something people should scoff at. I don't know anything about filming or photography. Hell, I don't have an inkling of artistry in me except for those doodles I make for class. But I know what I watched. Look at Isabella. It's not every day you see her all riled up like this.
Whatever I'm about to say gets lost in my tongue as a flush of embarrassment blooms across my face.
It was a heat of the moment thing. And anyway, I'll be very angry with you if you quit. What about the exhibit?
What exhibit?
Classified information.
Even if I bring you your favorite tonight?
Nope, not a chance.
Oh, come on! I thought we aren't supposed to have secrets.
A burst of laughter comes from Zach.
Thanks, you two. I might need some time alone to myself for a while. Just to think about things, how I'll go from here, that sort of stuff.
Why bring it up? Good question. Very good question.
Hey, I'm not quitting, Bella. Don't give me that face.
There's no face at all. Only a poor imitation of a puppy dog eyes, if you could call this one.
Promise?
I'll be damned if I break any promise I make to you guys. Besides, you're right. It's too early to say anything right now. What's night ain't for another week.
And that's all the answer I need from him. As sentimental as it sounds, there's fulfillment in knowing another person you know won't take the same path you've walked. Ouch. It's not like it's over for me, though. I still have time. I can still come back. Do my own thing. Do what I really want to do. I don't remember what that is. I'll have to play this game again. Surely once Papa recovers, once I'm done with everything. Ouch. I can already see where this is going. Inside my bag, my phone buzzes unexpectedly, breaking the pleasant afternoon lull. The screen shows Rose.
Hey, Isabel. You at the office?
Ha ha. Very funny, Rose. I'm hanging up.
Don't, I'm kidding. BRC says the floor plan copies are ready for Miss McCullough to pick up.
She states that as if it already explains everything. Then, out of the blue, she launches a long rant about the awful state of Luxburn streets. All of which she says in a single breath that I can barely keep up and make out a single word. I stay quiet, if only to avoid becoming the next object of her frustration. She's similar to Becca in that regard.
I'm stuck in horrendous traffic right now. Bloody stupid drivers.
When she has finally run out of things to complain about and stops, what she says next still has none of what I'm hoping to hear from her. Just a quick mumbled plea for me to meet the Wright's interior designer in her stead, and an
Anyway, I'll leave it to you. Bye. Thanks.
Classic Rose. She ends the call without even asking for my input. The sky is cloudless and the noontime sun is beating down on the hard concrete when we leave the cafe. It's far from unbearable, but it's enough to put enough people in a fickle mood or make them vulnerable to catching something. No wonder we have staff members going AWOL missing, or lately. Not to mention my bod's mercurial moods. That's a good word to use there. Huh. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I want our usual cloudy weather back. For all the gripes about the unpredictable weather, though, the streets of Luxburn remain constantly busy. The hurried tapping of shoes against the pavement and inane chatter coming from the lunchtime crowd fill the humid afternoon air. A small reminder of the things we still have to do, regardless of how much I want to return to the comfort of my bed. Back to Briar Realty for me, Zach to a meeting with a magazine publisher featuring luxury houses, and Becker to her lesson plans and books at home. But, more than once, I catch her sneaking a longing glance over something displayed at a shop window. Did she want to buy something? Maybe I can get it for her this Christmas. I turn my head at the last shop she checked out. A fleeting glimpse. The world stills. Oh, nice! She looks at me, eyes hollow, gaze piercing, and boring into my very soul, like a set of chains to keep my whole body still. She looks at me, eyes hollow. There are no shadows or whispers this time. Only a plea. A hum, low and distinct. Compelling me, beckoning me, intent on dragging me to the void beyond the glass. I don't dare move. My heart hammers against my ribs, each beat every thump screaming at me to look away and make a run for it. But I can't. I will say, the twitching is so good. I couldn't. Really? Huh. Ashley's apparently a Capricorn, Becca's an Aries, Luke is a Leo, Hannah's a Taurus, Zach is a Pisces, Isabella's a Gemini, and that's creepy. She's getting hounded now, not the mansion. Think of it more like The Grudge, which I actually think this was based on The Grudge. The creature itself is attached to the mansion, but once it imprints on someone, more or less, it then just starts following them. Same thing as like The Ring and The Grudge. It's the same type of creature that I think that it's based on that specific creature from Japanese mythology, which is one of the creepiest creatures out there. I love it. I love that thing. All of my limbs feel heavy, while my own breathing strains in the face of her calls. All of my limbs feel heavy, while my own breathing strains in the face of her calls. There was the creaking guttural throat noises on the phone on the first part. Yeah, after she was already in the house, and this thing wanted to try to contact her. That didn't happen before that. It didn't happen before she found, before she actually entered the house. Actually, I think that they specifically made a note of mentioning that was the first time she ever went in. And she ended up going into a room that was supposed to be cleaned, was apparently not, that had this in it. The note, the letter, the help me letter, the chain letter. And, it's the, oh, that's my train of thought. That was right before she met her. So at that point, she probably imprinted on Isabella. At least, that's how that creature worked in both Japanese horror movies, so.
Leave me alone.
Her mouth is stretched in a grin, wide and unpleasant. The panic building up in my chest forces me to take a tentative step back. I try not to stare at the decaying flesh, the blood streaming from the gaping wounds on her arm, or her nailless fingers. I don't want this. Not like this. Not after I got what I want for Papa. The Xeno? You're referring to her, right? I don't think that's ironic. I don't think that's ironic at all. I think that the note belonged to her. She's looking for someone that can help her. Because of the backstory of the whole game had something to do with, like, a girl getting brutally murdered in the house or something like that. And, I assume that whatever killed her in real life is after her in death, and that's what the Help Me's about. That's the only assumption I can make so far. I know nothing about this game, story-wise, other than it was kind of based on that, so she definitely wants something, and she knows what she wants and she's trying to communicate it, but she doesn't have the ability to anymore, basically. I've seen enough horror movies, supernatural TV series, I've seen enough, like, all over the place stuff to kind of get a feeling for it, at least, you know?
No, stop. Leave me alone.
Her face contorts and she lets out a wail, sharp and utterly unforgiving. Also, I love the music, just saying. This music's great. Rage. There is only hatred and bitterness, as if the very notion of turning away from her is an offense in itself.
Please! I don't want this!
Before I know it, I'm stumbling backwards. My own throat, hoarse from the screams I didn't even notice already coming out of my mouth. The back of my feet catches on a... The back of my feet catches on a loose stone, sending me sprawling on the ground. The resulting pain completely jolts me out of the haze, blurring my mind. Back of my foot catches or back of my feet catch? Feet catches is wrong. For a little while, my surroundings appear unfamiliar until Becca's face swims into my vision. A look of concern is on her face, and her hands are gripping my arms tight. Even Zack appears beside himself with worry while he stands behind her, acting as a shield against the small crowd of onlookers already forming around us.
What happened?
Bella, you okay?
My mouth opens and closes, but nothing comes out. The words refuse to form. On impulse, I sneak a swift glance at the display window. She's gone. Yet the foreboding feeling hasn't left me. My hands are shaking as I push myself off the ground, my weakened limbs relying solely on reflex and muscle memory. Something icy has made its home at the pit of my stomach. I want to throw up. Anything to get the wretched sensation out.
You are screaming! Zack, call someone!
No, don't. I'm good. I'm good. I need to get to the office. Rose, the floor plans. Someone's going to pick it up. I'll see you later.
Careful! Don't stand up yet. Stay put, Isabella. Zack, you watch over her for me. I'll call for someone.
Touched by the marker? Really? Is this a Dead Space? I attempt to smile to put her at ease, but it likely comes off as a grimace. Gently, I pushed her hands off my shoulders. My knees are still trembling, but I can stand. Leave. Leave me. Stay away. Away. The humidity is stifling, everyone's stares are unnerving, and Becca's and Zack's concerns are suffocating. I don't want to be here. No more. I break into a run. I wish I hadn't left my bed this morning. Here, with only the occasional drips of water in the sink and the whirring of the fan blades to keep me company, it's easy to fall into a cycle of negative thinking. But even with the clutter to keep me company, the room still feels a whole lot bigger than usual. I hug my knees closer as a group passes by outside. Loud. So loud. If only there was a way to tune everything out, to keep my head from replaying every image, every sound of her. Yeah, I was about to say too. Actually, wait, does the clock... I just glanced over that before you said it. Yeah, the clock is still 5. And the calendar's also still not changed. So it's very clearly just a static image that never changes. And that's a little disappointing. Wait, 5:01? Really? The calendar's also still not changed. No, that still looks like 5 o'clock. To me. And that's a little disappointing. Wait, 5:01? I'm a little sad that there's no actual tweaks to the background. That would be such a good attention to detail, and it makes me sad. Her screams, her awkward gait as she reaches for me, her bone-chilling smile, her pleas for... Enough. That's enough. A shiver passes over me, though it's not from the hair still hanging damp against my back, nor the draft that enters the room from the windows I left wide open. My gaze shifts over to the letter sitting on the coffee table. Its edges flutter innocuously as the wind touches it. Funny how an ordinary-looking piece of paper can bring this much trouble. Also, I'd like to point out that send this to 5 people or else, she has shown 7 now. She showed all of them, all 6 of these, and Rose. They have all seen it. Technically, she succeeded at that. She should not still be being haunted. I'm sorry. The impulse to throw it away or rip it to pieces is still there. I can easily do it, but after that, what? Will she leave me? What about those people who have already seen it? Will they be okay? This uncertainty gnaws at me. Knowing that she's real and might also go after the people I care about. I just wish someone would listen. Believe me, she needs to make a copy of it first. I guess, yeah. The abrupt break in the silence nearly makes me jump out of my skin. Blindly, I fish out my phone from under the mess of papers and cushions where I've carelessly thrown it before taking a shower hours ago. Ash's name Ash's name flashes brightly on the screen. Is he calling because of this afternoon?
Thank you so much for spamming my inbox, Scaredy Cat.
Hey, Ash.
Hi, Howard. Howard Wang, one of the other TFS voice actors. He did very little for them, but he did appear on some streams and stuff, which is why I recognize his voice, and it's like, his voice is so uncanny in the first part. I looked it up between streams. It's cool.
What's wrong?
I just had a long day. The couple who bought the house wanted us to finish processing the papers within the week.
Oh, also, another thing. Another person he voiced. He voiced, I forget his name, Whitley. Whitley Shenee in Ruby. Weiss's brother.
It's a little hectic, but we'll manage.
Really? You sold it?
Don't sound so surprised. I told you, you don't stand a chance. The rights won't take no for an answer. You've been on the losing end from the very start. Ha!
Whoever said I was interested in the house in the first place?
But you said...
Despite his light tone, his snicker only comes off as annoying to my ears. I have to fight the urge to end the call right then and there. Okay, yeah, Season 4 is when his voice appears, so... I have to finish Season 5, I think it is? Most recent one. Yeah, Season 5. I have to finish Season 5. I'm like 2 episodes away from it, and I was watching it with my father, but we never really finished that season, so I'll watch the rest of myself. Stupid Ash.
You're such an ass. And just so you know, I'm not treating you to a separate celebration. Or ever.
No, that's just unfair. And here I was looking something up for you. Didn't you say you wanted to talk to Andrew?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I pause. I did say that. But I didn't think he'd actually go through the trouble, considering how much he scoffed at the whole topic in the first place.
Is he okay with that?
Totally. Besides, I need to ask him about something. I might as well do it soon.
She will. Yeah, probably. I mean, again, it's very clear from how they interact with each other in both this and the previous thing. The previous stream. He's got a thing for her and she's completely clueless. He's teasing her like typical, like, romance stories end up teasing each other. They do Capricorn well. He's teasing her like typical, like, romance stories. What is Capricorn even supposed to be? They do Capricorn well. Because I am one, and I'm curious now. What is Capricorn?
What do you say you come with me tomorrow morning?
Because I am one, and I'm curious now.
Well, there's no harm in it, I suppose. I've got a free day anyway.
The hard worker. I mean, I just noticed that he does share a lot of similarities with me in terms of, like, personality and stuff. I wouldn't necessarily put hard worker in the list. He seems more like a, Oh, you are? Nice. What day? Ah, okay, so there's the birthday. I just can't see his yet. But yeah, Ashton's personality is like very high mind, very intelligent, very realistic. January 11th, okay. I'm 3rd, so.
Great, I'll just pick you up. Don't oversleep.
Intelligent, very realistic. January 11th, okay. I'm 3rd, so.
Don't compare me to you. I'm not the one who sleeps like a rock.
Thank you for the host, Cal of Tyr. I'm going to assume that's how you say that. Oh hey, it's the same users who were on my stream last time. So either they actually are interested or they're still bots. Oh hey, it's the same users who were on my stream last time. Oh, you know them? Okay. Either they actually are interested or they're still bots. Yeah, okay, it's Cal of Tyr. Another round of chuckles come from him. Oh, you know him? Okay. Oh, I will live for the day he'll stop making fun of me. Just wait, you asshole. Another round of chuckles come from him. As I'm about to end the call, he clears his throat.
And, Isabella?
His sudden diffident tone sends my eyebrows shooting up into my hairline. Is the world ending today?
Yeah? Did you forget something?
Are you... Do you think you... We... Never mind. Good night. Are you... Do you think...
Finish the sentence, because... He hangs up instantly. Rude. Completely rude. I didn't even get to thank him. The busy tone, though muffled, echoes through the receiver. Who wants to bet that that's going to change in a couple seconds? Nope, never mind. No one is saying this will work. Even I'm doubtful it will. But right now, I'll take anything. Anything to get out of this nightmare. Sleep comes easier tonight. And for the first time in a long time, I dream. Of clear skies, of unrestrained laughter from children playing in the streets, and of small, cramped dwellings. Rude? He debated that. He figured it wouldn't work out. No. She doesn't have any idea. She thinks that he was referring... She's referring to the hanging up instantly, thinking he was still talking about the, talking to the person. I forget his name already. Andrew, I think it said? Yeah, Andrew. She assumed he was still talking about Andrew, and he clearly was trying to make a move and like say, hey, do you want to go on a date? That was so obvious. To an outsider, the site does not paint a pretty picture. However, this is home to me. New day. And still nothing marked. And still 5. Morning dawns bright and clear the following day. Although the air still feels muggy and I miss the chilly autumn weather, it's one of those rare weekends when I'm up even before my alarm rings. If it wasn't for Ash's call last night, I'd probably sleep in. When 9 o'clock a.m. rolls around, I'm already heading downstairs where Ash is waiting for me in his car. His hair is a disheveled mess, his eyes drowsy, and overall just looking like he hurried to get out of bed. Or fell out of it. Or both. He looks adorably rumpled this way. But I'm not going to tell him that. It only blowed his unbearable ego. No.
Good morning, Ash!
He makes a motion with a finger around his ear. Tone it down.
Can you even drive? Good morning, Ash.
He answers me with a slight raise of his hand, a yawn, and nothing more. He has never been particularly fond of mornings, and for that I'm grateful to every god in the universe. Less mental capacity for him to make fun of me. Ha! There's the reason why mornings are my favorite. Also, yeah, let me just point out, very analytic as well. Very realistic, personality-wise. And also, kind of a snark bag, and I love it. Snarky, sarcastic, just like me. It's great. I found myself identifying with him so much. I don't know if that's supposed to be part of Capricorn or not, but that's kind of interesting. That the one who's most similar to me is the one who's within my same month range. It doesn't take long for us to reach our destination. The small cafe situated in Luxburn's busiest street, the same one I'd often visit Becca for its cheap food. I'd never gone here on a Sunday, and it's striking how different it appears to be without the usual weekday and Saturday rush. Works perfectly. Alright. Interesting. Maybe there is a tiny bit to that after all, even though I'm pretty sure there's not. The atmosphere especially reminds me of something we also have back home, near the university I used to attend. Wonder what happened to it. It's being renovated before I left, so I never got to visit one last time. The place has always had a calming effect on me. But today, despite standing in a place similar to it, anxiety easily washes over me as I step out of the car. I'm quite used to dealing with people I've never met before, thanks to my work, but still, I don't know him. In spite of the fact that both Ash and Becca have vouched for him, what will he think of me and my story? What if he thinks I'm crazy? Hell, even my own friends thought so. I draw in a breath to quell the panic beginning to rise in me. Oh well. Only one way to find out. A few hesitant steps forward, and then Ash is suddenly pulling me back by my elbow.
Hold on, scaredy cat, not too fast.
Without warning, he flicks my forehead. Hard.
That hurts! What was that for?
He's already walking away when I look up, and I try to catch up to him, puzzled. I really don't understand this guy. At least explain why you're flicking other people's foreheads all of a sudden. So rude.
Get yourself together, will you? He's not going to bite. He's very accommodating, too.
I wasn't scared of him or anything.
You don't look like it. Didn't sound like you were okay last night either.
Again, dude's way too smart. Huh?
What was that last one? Hey! Don't just ignore me!
All questions and retorts die on my mouth once he opens the door of the shop. A cast iron bell attached to it chimes softly, announcing our arrival. The smell of freshly brewed coffee welcomes us as soon as we step in. Analytical to a fault. Yep. Like usual, several tables and chairs have been set up for the patrons. But most of the customers have forgone them in favor of the more comfortable throw pillows and beanbags the staff has laid out on the floor. Becca would love to know they have something like this on Sundays. She's been complaining how uncomfortable the library chairs are for a long time now. Ash leads me to a secluded spot near the window where an old man, probably in his 50s or 60s, old? That's old? Okay. Is seated, enjoying a brew and a book.
Professor Clark.
It's just Andrew now. I'm no longer your professor, Detective Inspector Frey.
The guy, Andrew, looks up from his book and gives him a smile. A sheepish look crosses Ash's face at the older man's admonishment. More unusual, in my opinion, is seeing him appear like a parent has just scolded him. But it suggests a familiarity between them, one that goes beyond what someone expects from a simple student and mentor. With another warm smile, he gestures for us to take the empty seats opposite him.
Have you been waiting long?
Quite some time. But I come here early on weekends. Best time to get their first serving of bear claws. They're the only place that serves it here.
I don't know what to think of his voice. It sounds weird. No, this be senpai.
I took the liberty of ordering for you two. I hope you don't mind. I thought it'd be best to talk over a decent helping of coffee.
Hold on.
I took the liberty of ordering for you two. I hope you don't mind. I thought it'd be best to talk over a decent helping of coffee.
I thought it'd be Beth, too. Alright, he's, yeah, definitely amateur voice actor. You can tell that already. I thought it'd be Beth, too. Alright. That's fine, I don't mind. A lot of the others in this game are novices. I mean, it's Isabella's first time ever, and she's doing a great job. That's fine, I don't mind. A lot of the others in this game are novices. I mean, it's Isabella's first time ever, and she's doing a great job. Soon enough, a waiter brings us 2 more cups and sets down a basket of pastries.
Aren't you going to introduce the lady?
Ah, right, sorry. Isabella, this is Prof. Andrew. He's one of my professors back at the university. Andrew, this is Isabella Santos.
Not sure about that. Frankly, I looked into the voice cast on a lot of the characters in this game. Decent amount of work. Not new, but not, you know, not known. Antfish. I think Marianne had a pretty good amount of stuff. No, actually, she was kind of a moderate. Like, not enough to be considered, not enough to be considered, like, experienced, but not so little that it'd be suspicious, you know? Rebecca, I don't remember. And then these two were also former Team 4-star. So, like, the voice talent in this game is not expensive, which is understandable, because this is an indie game. So.
Santos. Portuguese? Spanish? Brazilian? Mexican?
Filipina, actually. It's a pleasure to meet you, Professor.
Ah, your name carries a lot of history, Miss Santos. Just Andrew is fine. Don't do what Ashton's doing. He doesn't listen to this old man.
You're not that old. He doesn't listen to anyone, more like. The awkward tension typically present in first meetings dissipates after that. I was expecting someone strict and, to an extent, someone severe. Professor Andrew Clark is definitely the opposite of what I have in mind. The more personable kind, similar to a grandfather who dotes on you at family gatherings. He's not that old! I mean, I guess I might just have a skewed perspective on it, but when I was like 10, my grandparents were in their 70s. So... It's obvious why Ash has taken a liking to him.
Ashton tells me there's something you wish to discuss that I could help with. Let's hear it then.
I give Ash a hesitant glance, but he just nods and gestures towards Andrew with his head. He's leaving this to me. It's my story to tell, after all. I keep it short and concise. I found a letter in this old mansion, and now I'm cursed. Yeah, I agree. You're not old until you're like 75 to 90. I agree. Wholeheartedly. My dad is 60 this year, so... Exactly as I have told Ash and Zach when they asked about it. I don't mention the name of the place. No more use saying it now, or that someone else, now that someone else legally owns it. No use dragging other people into my problems. Also, I just remember what the name was. It's the Ermengarde Mansion.
I'm sure it's that letter I found. But I don't know anymore. I just want to know how to escape this nightmare.
Of course. We're talking about the one in Anselm Village, aren't we?
How did you...
Don't look so surprised. There's only one place popular enough here if we're going to talk about hauntings. I once had a colleague who wrote about it and the urban legends surrounding the place. Years worth of study. A fascinating... It's a shame he passed away at such a young age. He would have done a much better job at explaining topics like this one compared to me. Don't look so surprised.
Yeah,
There's only one
right.
place
That
popular
laugh
enough
is...
here if we're going to talk about hauntings.
Yeah, that laugh is awkward. Definitely not, like I said, definitely kind of obvious that he's a bit less experienced than the guys from Team 4-Star. For obvious reasons.
Ashton here might disagree, but it's an interesting topic in sociology, if you care to have an open mind.
Studying the science and theory behind it is completely different from outright believing in it.
You don't believe in those stories, sir?
Now, this isn't a question of belief. All I'm saying is things like these speak a lot about a place's culture and history. And it's not just limited to ghosts. Monsters, gods, you name it. Even you, Miss Santos.
What about me?
Also, just to clarify something for me, is it Traven or Traben? Or Traven? Sorry for a second.
How you respond to these stories. It tells a lot about you and your upbringing. In the same way it tells me why I'm interesting, isn't it?
What about me?
How you respond to these stories. It tells a lot about you and your upbringing. In the same way it tells me why our detective inspector here finds such topics absurd. Interesting, isn't it?
back. Sorry about that. My head is starting to spin from all this. I'm not the smartest person around, but I understand what he's trying to get at. I think. It's still too much to take in all at once. I look to Ash for help, but his eyebrows are drawn in a frown. If he keeps staring like that at his cup, I'm pretty sure it'll crack soon.
There's still something you're not telling.
Didn't I tell you everything the other day?
Yeah, but you mentioned the rights. Then you proceeded to drop the topic right after.
Damn it, guy's way too smart.
What's with that?
They don't have anything to do with this.
Rights. Luke and Hana, right?
Yeah, they're the ones who got the place.
Ah, I'm not surprised. They're the kind who gets what they want when they set their eyes on it. From what I've heard, word gets around.
A heavy sigh escapes my lips. Popular or not, they're just my clients. Albeit a little bit pushy, but just clients. End of story. What's the Deus Ex Machina about this? Just the fact that he knows everything about it? What's going on right now? I wish he'd stop pestering me about them. I was not aware of that. Right is also a type of ghoulish ghost. I'm gonna need to look into that. Huh. Yeah, he knows too much. To be fair, he's in on it. No, to be fair, he's gotta be. No. I don't feel suspicious of him yet. I mean, yeah, he's a bit too informed and too nice, but let's be real here. It's not that, supposedly it's not that big of a town. Rumors spread, especially involving people with a lot of money, probably. I know you're super suspicious of anyone who has anything to do with Luke for obvious reasons, because I am too. But frankly, it feels to me, so far at least, like Luke is the only real threat. In fact, I feel like Luke is more of a threat than the ghost thing. If you want me to be real. I assume it's probably this one. I'm just gonna go with my gut on this one. Aha, yes. What is it again that Becca does when dealing with a particularly difficult child? The pesky, annoying kind? I wish I could remember. I could almost certainly use the same trick right about now.
Ashton, look here. I know you're trying to help, but the deal's almost already closed. The papers are being prepared. Once it's done, it's over. I'm just their agent.
And when is that happening?
When what? Is there even a purpose to this line of questioning?
Your working relationship with them. When's it going to end?
About a week from now? It depends on how long the papers will take, but they want us to rush it.
Really? You're absolutely sure about that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, hey, look. Oh, hey, look. I mean, I pointed this out in my first stream. Ash, when he gets hold of the letter, says, "Isn't it a bit early for Halloween?" I took one second pause. I'm like, doesn't the timeline say we're literally 2 weeks before that? Yes, we are. Couldn't she have just played it off like, oh, I just picked up a prop for Halloween on the way home from work today? Play it off like that. No one will be any the wiser.
Yes, really. Unless they want to buy a house again and want me and Rose to be their agent. If yes, then I don't see a problem with it. Now stop annoying me about it.
Don't accept it.
What? Why? It's my job.
Oh, Lord. Even my younger siblings aren't this difficult to deal with. Then again, Ash is far from a younger sibling to me. If he'd only spell it out, surely I'd understand. We wouldn't even have to talk about it right now. Is that hinting that she can tell and is just waiting for him to make the first move? That's how it is, right? Find it even ground and talk about it like the adults we are? Never mind. It wasn't like this before. But somewhere along the way, something has changed in us. As people, as friends. I wish there's a way I can tell when or why. Probably when he started to develop feelings for you. Coolest girl. Instead, I'm left searching blindly for reasons. The next thing we know, we'll be drifting further and further apart. How frustrating.
Now, kids, settle down. We're not going to solve anything by shouting.
Sorry, Sir Andrew.
And we're not going to solve anything either if you keep omitting things.
Speak for yourself. I'm not the only one doing it.
Oh?
You'll have to forgive my former student, Miss Santos. He's always been the curious kind. Many people think he's lazy, but it's actually the opposite. I see that hasn't changed.
Oh, really? How is he back when he was your student? I'm sorry, I need to ask. He doesn't talk much about that.
And there's a reason why. Please don't.
Tried to sleep on the first day of class. He didn't repeat it after what I made him do when I caught him. Students like him are the easiest to deal with, once you know what piques their interest. I'd have to say, he's one of the very few who's actually interested in the subject, though. But there was this one time when...
By the end of the conversation, Ash looks like he's praying for the ground to swallow him. He's never been one to talk about himself. What I know about him are mostly bits and pieces I've gleaned over the years. He's an atrocious singer, he's bad at art, and has a personal vendetta against Mornings. I like that. Now? Now it feels like he isn't that hard to figure out after all. It's past noon when Andrew has to leave us for another meeting. Yeah, of course they did. He's embarrassed. It's not like only girls do that. Of course it made him blush. But before we separate...
Miss Santos, a word of advice. Just keep in mind that when it comes to cases such as this, they aren't always what they seem.
Achievement unlocked. Psychotherapy not needed, or not included. Okay. Naturally, the mansion in the letter was brought up several times during our talk. And though Ash is right in that Andrew offers a different perspective, he has left me with more questions than answers instead. What is she? What does she want from me? I forget the actual name of it, but I've looked into it. Junbei, I think might be it? No, that's something else. I forget the actual name of it, but I looked into it. Screw it, I'm not going to bother trying to think of it right now. There is an actual word for the type of creature that was used in both the Grudge and the Ring, so... Is she ever going to leave? When you give her what she wants? Yes. They all continue to bug me after we've left the coffee shop. I don't even notice when Ash takes a different turn on our way back.
Where are we going? You can drop me off at the park.
Guess. You have 3 chances.
I'm serious, Ash. Where are we going?
He doesn't answer, but shortly he stops his car in front of a small, nondescript food stall, a little ways away from the movie house. Nice name for a movie. If I wasn't paying closer attention, I would have missed it without a doubt. He motions for me to wait as he gets off the car and walks it. Gets off the car? What? That's a turn of phrase I've never heard. He gets off the car and walks in its direction. Sheesh, if you want to buy something, just say it. No need to make yourself look mysterious. Makes you look more like a dork than cool. Pocket Chibi, coming soon. Yeah, I didn't notice that. Also, BATC or BATO. Not sure what that could be. Possibly the word batch? Yeah, I didn't notice that. Also... Wait, Pocket Chibi... That's clever as shit. That's clever as shit. That's the next game that the company is actually working on. They keep doing that. That's the second time they've done that. That's clever as shit. The wait isn't long, however. Soon he's walking back holding 2 fish-shaped cones in both hands. Ice cream? Parfait? Across of the 2? By the time he's back inside the car, I've given up any effort to figure out what he bought. Not that it looks bad. It's actually quite cute.
Here, take it.
I have to move my head back a little when he thrusts it at me to avoid the ice cream and fruit toppings from ending up on my nose.
What's this for?
Ha! That is adorable, actually.
My arm's getting tired. 5, 4, 3, 2.
With a wary glance, I take it off his hands. I still don't understand why there's a need for ice cream today. She's so clueless. She is so painfully clueless. Nevertheless, I take a small bite. It's actually pretty good. It must have shown on my face because he chuckles as soon as I take another one.
Saw the place open the other day when we watched Zach's movie. Thought I should give it a try. It doesn't seem like a bad place to get food from time to time.
And you're giving me free ice cream because...
Because he likes you, you idiot.
Do I need to have a reason?
See?
Are you really going to ask me that?
Here's the thing with Ashton Frey. He does not treat anyone just treat anyone to free food because he feels like it. He's that much of a Scrooge. Hell, he even asked me to teach him how to haggle once. Haggle, of all the people who'd asked me that. Yeah, good answer. I would expected such requests from Becca, but Ash, not at all. If I'm going to be honest, he looks a bit constipated with that expression on his face right now. I think he's starting to regret ever buying this.
The other day? The movie with Zach and Rebecca? Rebecca's there, yeah, I think so. Yeah. Anyway, during the movie, we, that's to say, shit. Should have written down something first.
Get to the point, Ashton.
Right. I'm sorry.
What?
Not, I'm sorry for, not getting to the point. Right. I'm sorry for the other day. I got carried away. I said things that upset you. I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Okay? That's all? That's all you're going to say? You're not still angry, are you?
You didn't have to buy me anything. A simple sorry would have been enough.
I bite into the cone again. A small attempt to keep myself occupied and relieve the heat crawling up my face. It doesn't work, but at least I don't have to look at him. Why I'm feeling embarrassed over an apology, I have no idea. Ju-on. Yeah, okay. Yeah, means curse grudge. Yeah, I remember that much, but it's not Ju-on, it was, Ju-on. Yeah, okay. Yeah, means curse grudge. It's the type of creature. It's not not specifically the grudge, but it's the style of creature that it is the same in both the Ring and the Grudge. It's some sort of Japanese, like, folklore for evil spirit or something. Regardless. It's not like it wasn't called for. They were being mean, especially him. And in that fraction of a second, it hits me. He skipped his day off just for today. I should be the one apologizing and thanking him. Silence is an awkward company while we finish our respective snacks. There are words for this. For people like us, for understandings and sentiments like this. Yet, in this instant, they won't come. The word is crush, my dear. As promised, he drops me off at the park right after. Onryo? Onryo spirit. That sounds right? That sounds right, yeah. A spirit focused on vengeance. Yes, yeah, that sounds right, yeah. That kind of describes at least what I can tell so far, although it doesn't seem focused on vengeance as much as it seems focused on something else, because of the whole help me thing. It's been repeating help me since the first time we saw it, and I mean the letter that has help me written over and over and over again. So it's a similar type of creature, but probably not identical. As promised, he drops me off at the park right after. Phrase is still unsaid, still hanging heavily in the air. That's specific to Samara from Ring. Well, yeah, but it's still the same type of creature. Like, I looked into this a while ago. They're identical. The creature itself is the same. That's the main important thing. The creature is a type of malevolent spirit that persists after death, is tied to something, but then attaches to someone when that person interacts with the thing in the right way. It's a horrific idea that we don't have here in Western Yurei. That sounds more accurate. That sounds way more accurate, because I looked into this on Wikipedia once. Yurei sounds way closer to what I'm trying to remember. In this weather, the city park gives off a lazier, I almost said lazier, I don't know why, a lazier and more languid vibe than usual. Where children are usually seen running around and playing, there are now people lying, leaning back on their picnic blankets, simply enjoying the afternoon sun. The smell of food drifts from nearby carts, and if the wind blows in the right direction, one would catch the whiff of freshly trimmed grass. Maybe I should try walking home today, to get my mind off things. Guess who's gonna show up? Try and find the words somehow? I haven't done that in a while.
Thanks, Ash, for today.
No problem. Say hi to Rebecca for me.
Yeah, I will.
Even so, I linger.
Thanks, Ash, for today.
No problem.
Yu means faint, Rei means spirit, usually tied to something like revenge, love, jealousy, hatred, or sorrow. Reikon is thought to transform into Yurei. Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right, and it's not unique to the Grudge and the Ring. It also appears in like Fatal Frame and a bunch of other Japanese horror origin stuff. They all draw inspiration from this creature, and I'm fairly certain that this game itself took inspiration from that. You know, I thought I read that somewhere. Yeah, love Fatal Frame. Fatal Frame's really good. We both do. Even so, I linger. We both do. A mild, humid breeze brings the smell of dried leaves, warmed earth, and a far-off, distant memory. A fall starts in awkward first meetings. Same place, same people playing the same parts. Funny how of all the days my brain chooses to remember it now.
Wait, Belle.
Ash exits his car. His strides are unsteady when he approaches me, or maybe this is his uncertainty showing? I'm not quite sure. He's never looked uncertain to me before. Always calm, always sure, always collected. He stops a short distance from me, close enough that he's within an arm's reach, but just far enough for his voice to be heard over a decent small talk, if this is what it's going to be. He fumbles for something in his pockets.
Here, catch.
The small bag lands cleanly on my outstretched hands before it hits the ground. I raise an eyebrow at him, and he responds by shrugging and stuffing both his hands back into his pockets. Somewhere to the side, he finds an interesting spot to look at. Sometimes you have to wait, Papa said long ago. For once, this time, I listen. His voice is halting, hesitant when he finds it again.
My mom used to make me carry around one of those when I was young. To ward off evil and bring you luck, she said. I don't believe in this stuff now, but if it makes you feel safe since you're a total scaredy cat, then I guess it's okay to give you one to carry around.
See, I can totally hear Howard's just basic voice there. Oh, also, Howard voiced Genos in the Cell versus Saitama quote-unquote fight that Team 4 Star did before the Cell games. Perhaps at the moment there aren't any words for it. I've never been good with those. But right now, I can thank him in the best way I know. Perhaps at the moment there aren't any words for it. Well then, I actually don't know which of these is the one to say. Well then, I actually don't. God damn it. I'm so bad with social situations. The one to say. It feels to me like both of them would kind of annoy him. God damn it. I'm so bad with social situations. It feels to me like both of them would kind This one? Okay. I close the short distance separating us and give him a light punch on the arm. Okay, it didn't look like that affected it, so cool. The gesture, familiar in places of phrases one couldn't spin together or answers too early to seek out.
See, you can be pretty nice when you're trying.
I am nice.
When you're sleeping, but thanks for this.
Don't go losing it. It brings bad luck if you do.
Wait, are you serious? When you're sleeping, but
I knew there's a catch. This asshole.
Yeah, that's what they say.
You did this on purpose, didn't you? Oh, I should have known.
Not entirely. But seriously, if anything happens, tell me. I'll be around.
Before leaving, he waves at me one last time. He's back to teasing me. Back to our usual routine, back to what we're comfortable with. But for all that, I believe in him. I just hope I can keep them safe. Keep him safe. Hello! A light wind blows again, sending dry leaves swirling the distinct smell of earth into the air. For the first time, the sunlight feels less harsh. Maybe a walk is good? I need to visit the grocery, too. Come to think of it, wasn't there an art store that opened recently near the park? I don't know if not so dense. I think they might be she might be developing feelings for him without realizing that he has feelings for her. Still feels completely and totally like she's too dense to figure out that he likes her. But it sounds like she's starting to develop feelings for him in return. Still feels completely and totally like she's too dense to figure out that he likes her. Okay, this came out of nowhere. The cat's name is Beruthiel. Or at least that's what his collar says. It's an odd name to give a cat, in my opinion. But it speaks grace much like the one that carries it. It shows in the way he swishes his tail, and his eyes follow my hand's every movement. I'm not sure what he finds fascinating in me, to be honest. I wasn't the very picture of grace when he found me, after all. It was a bad idea carrying 2 heavy bags of newly bought art materials and groceries without help or a sure ride home. In hindsight, maybe I shouldn't have bought all of these at the same time. I didn't even make it past the park. And now I'm suffering beneath the glaring afternoon sun, hunched up on a park bench and drenched in sweat, in the company of a cat curiously watching my every movement. I hope it stays where it is. It's just a black cat, but back at home they're considered ill omens.
Don't look at me like that. I can act graceful as well if I want to.
Not that I've ever acted graceful in my life, of course. Growing up with rowdy younger brothers and a sister does that. Or maybe it's the opposite? Mama used to call me a little troublemaker before. Well, graceful or not, there's no use moping. A short breather and then I'm off home. Besides, it isn't like the company's bad, even if it's just a cat. As long as it doesn't bite, or cross my path.
Well, where's your owner, anyway?
He has one, doesn't he? An owner? That's what the collar's for, right, isn't it? A bandage is wrapped on one of its paws, though. I wonder what happened to it. Did he run away?
Well, if you don't have one, I won't be able to take you in. My apartment doesn't allow pets. I tried to bring one home before, a cat. Not black, of course.
The owner was Enid. It's not necromorphs. We've been over this.
And Rebecca threw a fit before the landlady could.
I take a small packet of sweets from one of the bags beside me and pop it open. As I'm about to put one into my mouth, he meows. My hand stops.
Do you want one?
He doesn't meow again as I'm expecting him to, but I take his unblinking gaze as a yes. I shift the piece to my palm and hold it out to him warily. He sniffs at it once, twice before...
Baruthia!
Ah! It's her, okay. Yep. Like a good, properly trained pet, Baruthiel responds as soon as he's called. Ah! It's her, okay. Yep. Recognition comes as soon as my head snaps in the direction of the voice. Miss McCullough is hard to miss, what with her height.
I'm sorry. Did my cat hurt you?
I can't place her accent. It bothers me.
Miss Santos, was it? I'm surprised to see you here.
Nice to meet you again, Miss McCullough.
No, not Assassin. She is the interior decorator for the rights.
Nice to meet you again, Miss McCullough.
McCullough, no, not Assassin. Marianne. Her. That's a Scottish accent. Okay, that's what I thought, yeah.
Were you harmed in any way? I'm sorry. Baruthiel's not exactly fond of other people. Even run away from the veterinarian right now.
Oh no! He was just sniffing my hand earlier.
My Baruthiel's a she.
She? All this time I thought... The pause in conversation, if this can be called one, is uncomfortable. We're merely two people working different jobs for the same client. Frankly, meetings like this don't happen a lot, and if it does, a simple nodding of the heads is enough. Still, trying to be friendly wouldn't hurt, right? It is a little forced. Yeah, I agree. Cat or job? I feel like job is the better option, but... It is a little forced. Yeah, I agree. Cat or job? I feel like job is the better option, but... Like, I'm leaning towards job. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Cat would be professional job, personal job is professional. She might be more inclined to talk about job. That's what I was thinking too, just not for the same reason. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was kind of thinking like, well, I mean the professional part, yeah. Personal, I didn't quite put that together, but yeah, I'm gonna do job.
I'm just curious about your work.
Okay, wow, that went way up. She was, I think, just barely below the white line before, and now she's way above it. Nice. Wow.
What about it?
There is something guarded in her expression and mention of work, but I push it through with my question.
I just want to know how it is to work on a house like the Ermengarde Mansion. Is it hard?
I guess she wasn't expecting a question like that if the way her eyebrows shot up tells me something.
Because of its age? I wouldn't say it is. It is a challenge, considering the factors me and my team have to sort out.
I still say she could have used a better microphone, though.
But it's a good project. A breath of fresh air from what I usually work on. And I have a good team.
Like, her voice talent's not bad, but the microphone that was used almost sounds like it was just emailed, you know? Wonder what will happen when the bars get fully filled. That's a good question. The white is where they started. I know that for sure. And the red is where they are now. As you can tell, I've not made Rebecca very happy over the course of my actions. But the rest of them are either all at the same or above, so I'm doing well with that, I guess. Although, frankly, I kind of want to piss off Luke as much as possible because he's the obvious bad guy. It's painful obvious.
Those original fittings, though. It might be old, but the architecture is magnificent. I'm sure you've seen the stained glass windows in the foyer. Oh, I can already think of so many things I could do with it. But of course, my team will have to double check for necessary repairs here and there. That's probably for the best. It's easy to break some key elements with a rush restoration job, and who knows what other hidden issues there might be underneath. People can be so careless. I'm sorry, I spoke too much.
No, it's okay. You seem to really love what you're doing.
It's not really like that. I'm just lucky to have found work in an interesting field. Anyway, Bruthiel's due for her visit to the vet. Nice talking to you, Miss Santos. I wish you luck with what you're planning to work on. It seems like a big project, too.
She gestures with her head towards the bags. The ones filled with stuff I've recently bought from the art store. Likely leaving a dead body to haunt the place. Leaving things around. Yeah, not wrong.
It's a project for a friend, actually.
All the same. Good luck.
For a friend, so probably for, what's his name? Zach. I watch her as she leaves, though she stops shortly before crossing the threshold separating the park and the street. Not gonna lie, I was expecting... If memory serves me right, Charlotte Ermengarde was the one who owned the mansion before. The one who the opening blurb was about was Charlotte Ermengarde. And if my suspicions are right, I'm just going to, until I learn otherwise, I'm just going to call the ghost Charlotte. I might change that if I go back and rewatch the beginning of my first stream, but... She faces me again, looking like there's something she's forgotten to say. But anyway, I was expecting Charlotte to pop up instead of her during the cat thing. I was more expecting Ghost instead of someone else.
By the way, about the Ermengarde mansion, with my clients, it's the rights, I mean. I hope you don't mind me asking, but has the deal been finalized?
There's still a few papers they need, but the house is more or less theirs now.
Thank you. That's all I needed to know.
Wait, about the mansion, the
letter, the same one they saw. Whoever she is, she's asking for help. Someone. I want to tell Miss McCullough that the urban legends aren't just... Whoever she is, she's asking for help. I guess, yeah, but this is not Germany, so I don't think that's it, but that's funny. Ermengarde equals oh my god. I want to tell Miss McCullough that the urban legends aren't just legends anymore. They're real. She is not gonna believe me.
Don't mind me. I need to go too. Have a good day, Miss McCullough.
I hasten to pick up all the bags that left on the bench and run as far as my legs can take me. In that moment, what I'm weighing in my hands weighs far lighter than the overwhelming guilt trying to consume me. Home. I want to go home. Anywhere where I won't be reminded of the house. Of her. Of my own cowardice. Poison! Holy crap! I'm hearing something. The food tastes less appetizing tonight. A pity. One would think that someone who had been on a continuous binge of instant noodles would find a home-cooked meal enjoyable. But it isn't. Hunger isn't what's gnawing at me tonight, neither are my sore muscles. The TV runs loudly in the background, but what it says barely registers in my brain. It's hard when the things you're trying to forget keep returning to the forefront of your mind. It distracts you. Eats at you. Devours you. I wish this would stop. I wish I wasn't the one who picked it up. I wish it was somebody else.
In other local news, a woman was found dead in her home yesterday evening. Luxbourne police officials are currently investigating the crime scene, but has classified the case as homicide.
Huh?
The victim, identified as Rose Pamela Cooper, 33 years old, working as a real estate agent.
Oh no, who could have seen that coming? Rose?
Discovered lying in a pool of blood in her 2-bedroom flat with the words "Help me" repeatedly written on the walls.
Oh, who could have seen that coming? Dun dun dun, yeah, exactly. No. No. This isn't what I want. This isn't supposed to happen. None of this is supposed to happen. No one's supposed to die. Those are just stories, right? Legends. That's what everyone has kept telling me, so why? And I... Immediately, I rush to my study table and search on my phone. My hand, cold from dread, clings tightly to it as soon as I touch its edges. A piece of folded paper, the letter, lying unassumingly beside it, slips to the floor when I pick up the device. But I pay it no mind. There are more important things. Right now, I need to call her. I need to call her. I was with her. I was just with her not too long ago, but she was okay. No. 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 It isn't Rose. I'm sure of it. I just talked to her and... A sob escapes me and hot tears begin to blur my vision. One after another, they trickle down, weighted by the very same guilt I refuse to admit I've been carrying from the start. The same one I've been hiding from. Stage 1 denial. The same one that has put the people I care about in danger. Denial... Anger. She's angry now. Next is bargaining. Then depression, then acceptance. My hands shake as I navigate to Rose's number on my contacts list. She'll answer, right? That's what she always does. She'll pick it up, tell me to turn down the waterworks, and call me a wuss afterwards.
She'll answer. Please answer, Rose.
Again and again I dial. Whispering. Yes, she did see the note. Actually, wait. No, I tried to show it to her, but she just pushed it away without looking at it. I think she might have seen it at the actual mansion with the when Hannah, Luke, and Marianne saw it, but whispering, praying, pleading.
Come on, Rose! Don't do this to me! Please pick up! I know you're there, Rose. You're not dead. Please tell me you're not.
This adds to the series of deaths and disappearances that has plagued Luxborn in the recent years. The authorities are currently looking at a possible link with the notorious Anselm Butcher case.
The TV runs loudly in the background. A deafening status sounds from my phone speakers. But in my ears I can only hear the screams. Her pleas. Her whispers. Help me. We are not safe. Whoa, hi, that's new. Monday morning! And with that, I'm gonna stop the stream because I'm starting to get a bit tired. God, this game is so good. I'm loving this so far. Such a good story. Not gonna bother rating because there's like no one here. Such a good story. Love Esquire Kickstarter campaign is live. Back us now. This looks like a very different feel from the one that we're doing right now, even though it's probably the same team. So yeah, that's gonna be it. I'll probably put this on YouTube soon. Other than that, nice having you here. I really wanted to play more of this game, but I really need to stream it, and there's no point in streaming if there's no one watching. So, thanks, man. And yeah, see ya.